2023. Winter's coming. Gonna be raining in 3-4 weeks for sure. When I started doing some initial pricing on what all this was gonna cost, I just took the square footage of the existing house and went comp versus metal, and it was like a total difference of like $500. So you got a $500 difference with a roof that's guaranteed for 45 years versus 30 years. It's kind of spend the $500. The trade-off is, so everything I'm finding roughly says 10 to 15 years. This seems to be kind of the consistent thing before maintenance, replacing the screws is required, or or adding some sealant, stuff like that. I can say for sure I've done work where it's lasted at least 10 years thus far. So this is my screw on the ridge. That's what was in there. There's no neoprene fitting. It's just a straight screw. A lot of these have like started popping loose. All kinds of water getting in there. Ultimately, I think this is all a big part of what the problem was this ridge cap. Hey, look at that guy. Tell me that's not going to give me a problem. So I got all the screws out of the ridge cap here. This ridge cap is one long continuous piece. It took me about 3 hours to do all this. This was not an easy task. Let's take a look at underneath. That's about as much as I'm going to pull up to see what's going on. Okay, so the next step, I'm going to get the grinder and just kind of go over this really quick, just so I have a clean surface to have the screws bite down onto. And while I'm at it, I'll probably go over these too. And I wanted to say this new metal down here, I believe it's 20 gauge metal. I don't know what the stuff is here, the old existing stuff, but it is pretty thin. I feel like it's almost like cutting through foil. But anyway, when I use the grinder, it's all about with the quickness and keep moving, because I hold that thing in one spot for too long, it's just gonna eat right through it. Okay, so here it is 2 hours later. I've gone across the ridge. I've hit out every one of the seams. Tried not to be too critical about this, more of a blow and go kind of thing. Just want to get it kind of scuffed up so some of that dirt and grime is loosened up and there's some metal to bond to. Oh, I'm glad that's done. My hands are tingling. All right, man, I want to get this done. I'm starting to crack. I need to get this job done. I'm starting to lose it. All the grinding is done. Putting screws back into the ridge cap. What I'm doing here is I'm going every 8 inches. That just seemed like a good number. Oh yeah, and these screws are 1.5 inches up from the bottom of the ridge, and I went 1.5 inches just so that I would miss all of these screw holes, and when I put my piece on, hopefully it'll just go just like that. One more thing, I'm using the 3/4 inch stitch screws up here because the piece of styrofoam that's underneath this is 2 inches. The longest screw that I have, that I can find through this whole project, the longest screw I've been able to find has been 2 inches. So I tried the 2-inch screw, and then I tried this, and this one just seemed like it had a better bite. So that's why I'm going with the 3/4 stitch screw. If I don't get this thing done tomorrow, I think I'm gonna curl up into a ball in the gutter and start to cry. Look what I'll be dealing with today. Yeah, this will be like curling up in a ball in a dirty gutter. Oh yeah, this sucks. It's gonna be 4 days before I get back on the roof. Yeah, I've been watching this problem get exponentially worse over the last like 3-4 days, and this can't be ignored anymore. So this is what I'll be doing today. No roof for me. Okay, so I replaced this elbow here. This is new. and then it goes into what's called a union piece right here, and there's a washer inside of there, and this piece spins, so you don't have to worry about the threads all being the same because the bottom piece spins. Otherwise I'd be having problems. But anyway, there's a plumbing tape on there, and there's threading compound on there. That's why it looks so messy. Well, let's see how it does. We have success. Well, that was a fun little detour, huh? That kind of killed the day for sure. I had to go to 2 stores, and I had to get another pipe wrench. Anyway, next thing you know, here it is, 3 o'clock. The day is done. So back at it now in 4 days. So it's day 34. I'm ready. I'm ready to be done with this. I've got a couple things going on that I need to start focusing my full attention on. There's things that I need to put 1000% of my attention on besides this. This needs to be done now. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna finish up these sides. First thing I'm gonna do is take this drip edge right here, and I'm gonna flatten this out so that I just have the drip, everything will be flat except for this. Put that on the bottom, and then I've got some L flashing that I'm gonna put on top of that. Okay, so I got the drip edge piece on there. So I've done the best that I can over here with this spot, this transition. So anyway, long story short, if something gets behind this piece of metal, then there's metal behind that, there's plenty of flashing there, but I just can't get around this little spot right there. So I'm gonna have to use my my patch peel and stick stuff and put it there. It's the best that I can do. I got one little piece of this fabric stuff in there just to kind of help a little bit what I can. Just wanted to note that this is the L flashing that I'm using, 4" by 6", and anyway, it's going up underneath the roof and down on the side, and then there's another piece in between that and the flange, the drip edge. There's a piece there, and it's a 6" piece, and I had the option of buying a roll of sheet metal or using this stuff and cutting it off, and I ended up just using this stuff and cutting it off only because I already had this stuff on hand because I overestimated it, and I figured I might as well just use this because I got it instead of going and spending another $150 on sheet metal when I already got something I can use and I've already eaten the cost on it. So whatever, that's what I did. Okay, so I got that up, screwed in. It's all screwed off except for like 6 inches on that end, only because I need to do the new stuff first before I get that one piece there. But otherwise, this piece is screwed off. And up here, I got all my screws at 1 foot. 2 foot, I was gonna do 2 foot, but as I was doing 2 foot, it just seemed like too much. It was too much flippity flappity in between the spans of screws. Okay, it's all the same thing on this side. Now I'm gonna start putting up the patch stuff for all the holes. You still there? Okay, so I'm buttoning up here. I got the ridge cap all finished being screwed off here. Tied up that loose end, and down here where the old meets the new, you got that all buttoned up as well. It's all screwed off. I started using my seam tape here. I got it on this edge. It's like a whole bunch of band-aids. I feel like it's really strong stuff, and once you put this stuff down, it does not come off.